live and it's Monday. It's almost Tuesday. It's pretty late, but on Mondays I drop new videos, and I'm getting a little bit of a late start, so it's easier for me to just do a live. But I will also be doing some pre-recorded videos. Um, if you follow me on Instagram, you know that one of my posts has gotten a lot of attention, and that post is about sleeping with your baby, or bed sharing, or co-sleeping. Now, this is pretty controversial because the American Academy of Pediatrics recommends that moms do not bed share with their newborns. Uh, they made changes to their recommendations back in 1992 in an effort to reduce the risk of SIDS, which is sudden infant death syndrome. Now, for mothers who are planning to breastfeed, the thing about babies is they like to be nice and close to their mama. They like to be nice and snuggled up. And so having the baby sleep away from you, even if the baby is in a vicinity that's very close to you, it can be very disruptive. And oftentimes babies will sleep more soundly when they are allowed to be close to their mothers, very close to their mothers, skin to skin, not necessarily in a bassinet or crib that is next to the bed. So a lot of moms will find themselves bed sharing, fearfully bed sharing, and oftentimes lying when they go to the pediatrician and they ask them, "Oh, do you put the baby in a crib?" They're like, "Yeah, yeah, I sure do." But their baby is in the bed with them at night. And so I just wanted to touch on this topic a little bit because I see it firsthand all the times with the moms that I work with, them being exhausted, and literally it's because of separation, like literal separation anxiety, that the baby experiences at times when they are not close to their mother. You can even see it if, like, a family member that's not the mom picks up the baby. As soon as you put the baby next to the mom, baby's fine again. And we want to help our moms to maximize their sleep. So if you are planning or thinking about co-sleeping with your baby, which is sleeping where your baby is in a close vicinity to you, um, more specifically bed sharing, which is where the baby will be in the bed with you, let's go over some of the guidelines for how to do that as safely as possible. So the La Leche League put out a guide, and they give us 7 guidelines. It's called the Safe Sleep 7. La Leche League is an international breastfeeding support group. It's run by mothers who have breastfed. Um, Everybody that is a La Leche League leader has breastfed for at least 6 months exclusively, and then all the way up into a year and beyond. At 6 months, it's recommended that you start introducing solids. So they introduce solids, but they continue breastfeeding for a year and as long as they want. So that's one of the criteria to become a La Leche League leader. And these leaders are trained to support other women on their breastfeeding journey. So it's a really, really wonderful organization. But number one, Safe Sleep 7, you cannot be a smoker. Okay, if you are a smoker, that increases your risk for SIDS. And I wouldn't wish that on anybody in the world. And I pray that, that we minimize that. Um, but smoking is a risk factor. Okay. So you want to be a non smoker if you are planning on bed sharing. Number 2, be sober and unimpaired. Okay, it's very uncommon for a mother to like roll over or smother her child, but there have been a few cases, and most of them involved alcohol or some type of drugs where the mom was not in her right mind. Okay, so you have to be sober and unimpaired. Number 3, a breastfeeding mother. Okay, so that's a part of um, co bed sharing, is that in order to be as safe as possible, it is a mom and baby that are actually breastfeeding. Okay. Number 4, you have a healthy full-term baby. All right. If a baby is premature, sometimes they need a little bit more time to transition. Depending on how early a baby is born, they may have to go to the NICU and things like that. So as a baby becomes older, they mature, their whole little body system starts to work more smoothly. So one of the guidelines to safely bed share is that your baby is full term and healthy. Put the baby on their back. Okay, that is a recommendation by the American Academy of Pediatrics as well, is to put babies to sleep on their back. It is important that you do tummy time and things like that with your newborn because you don't want their head to get flat on the back. And also being on their tummies, it gives them time to develop those muscles in the upper back. But for safety reasons, the American Academy of Pediatrics recommends having babies sleep on their back, and so does the guidelines for the Safe Sleep 7 that we're going through right now, which is put out by the La Leche League. Um, Another one is, oh, for the tummy time, you can definitely speak to your pediatrician about when you can start doing that, how often, things like that. Lightly dress the baby. That's number 6. We don't want to overheat the baby. I know sometimes I walk in rooms, depending on the culture, because culture plays such a big role in the way that we care for our babies. And so some cultures I see have the baby swaddle up. Oh my gosh, just swaddle up like the baby is in Antarctica or something. So we want to be mindful of the temperature in the room. If you keep your house very cold or something like that, of course, you can make sure your baby is covered appropriately, but we don't want to overheat the baby. And number 7 is you have the baby on a safe surface. So what is a safe surface? A flat area, like a bed, free of thick blankets and pillows or anything that the baby could get like entrapped in. Okay. Ideally, you would just maybe strip the bed back to the thin sheet, and that would be the safe surface. You want to avoid things like couches. I have heard of moms, going to sit on a couch because they're terrified of falling asleep with their baby. And so they'll go sit up to feed the baby and, they're dozing off. So a couch is actually not an ideal place to feed the baby. A more safe place to feed the baby would be a flat surface, like the surface of your bed. Okay, so those are the Safe Sleep 7. I'm going to go through them again really quickly. You're a non-smoker, you're sober and unimpaired, you're a breastfeeding mom, your baby is healthy and full term, baby sleeps on their back, baby's lightly dressed because we don't want baby to overheat, and then last, you're on a safe surface, which would be more of a flat surface. So just wanted to look and see, was there anything else I wanted to share with y'all? That's about it. I did see an interesting article. I'm gonna, if I can link this stuff down below, I will. But there was an interesting article about things to decrease SIDS. This article was put out by the World Health Organization, and it was saying that some of the biggest challenges is or some of the biggest things that affect SIDS is smoking. Smoking is a really big factor. So if you are expecting, you might want to consider doing your best to cut out that habit or to cut back. Now, smoking is not a reason to stop breastfeeding, but you do want to be mindful. Actually, it's recommended that if you're a smoker, you continue smoking cigarettes. That would be like tobacco, not any recreational drugs, but you continue to breastfeed because it might offer your baby some protection from the damaging effects of like secondhand smoke and things like that. So if you are a smoker, you want to make sure you, we would not encourage you to bed share. Also be mindful of secondhand smoke, okay? don't smoke around the baby, and also be mindful of third hand smoke. So if you have gone outside to smoke, you want to be changing your clothes because sometimes the scent it lingers, and that is also a form of it's a toxin. Okay, so we just want to be as mindful as possible of any exposures and eliminate it to the best of your ability, if you do smoke. Okay, so anyways, those are some of the guidelines. That post, it just generated so much attention on Instagram that I had to talk about it. um, you have to do what works best for you and your family. There's various opinions about this subject, but if you do decide to bed share, keep in mind the guidelines to do it as safely as possible. All right, y'all, till next time, you be well. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and subscribe. Give me a like and feel free to share it with your family, friends, a breastfeeding mama. And if you're not a part of our Facebook community, definitely come on over. There is a support group that we have on there, a virtual support group for breastfeeding mamas, postpartum mamas, expecting and aspiring moms. All right. Okay, till next time, let me know if there are any topics that y'all want me to cover in the comments below. And somebody said, "Oh, dang, girl, you fine." All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Till next time.